And now CBN News contributor Chuck Holton just returned from Cucuta, Colombia, on the Venezuelan border. Chuck, good to see you.
Good to see you, Wendy.
Now, Maduro reportedly had a plane waiting for him to take him to Cuba. Russia intervened, as you know. Now he's staying. How bad is this for the opposition party?
Well, I think what this shows you, first of all, is that Maduro doesn't have any confidence in his own troops to protect him. And number two, it shows you that Russia has a very strong vested interest in propping up Maduro. And because this is a proxy battle now between the United States and Russia, China, Hezbollah, Iran, all of the people on that side of the aisle.
Right.
So what happens here, what ends up happening here, is going to really have more to do about that relationship between us and those other countries that we compete with.
Well, we have something called the Monroe Doctrine, where the United States is supposed to protect any country in our hemisphere from interference by a foreign power. Do you think that the U.S. will honor this?
Well, honoring it is something that we've declared. That, look, you're not going to mess around in our backyard. We're not going to permit that.
Right.
This is a long-standing policy of the United States. And I think Donald Trump is doing everything he can to stand by that policy within reason. I mean, they're trying. This has to be done in steps. He can't just go in and bomb Caracas. He's got to go step by step, put the pressure on every way he knows how. But I can tell you, I've been on the phone even in the last few minutes with Venezuelan troops who have defected that are begging for U.S. intervention, begging for help. They want to go in and take back their own country. But they're telling me that Maduro is arresting thousands of Venezuelan troops right now and putting them behind bars, putting them under detainment so that they cannot switch sides.
Yeah.
And with 20,000 Cuban troops in the country, if the Venezuelan military, if and when they do switch sides completely, they're going to have a real fight on their hands to beat not only the Cuban troops, but also the gangs of colectivos, the Maduro thugs.
Chuck, you were there right on the border. How bad is it for the Venezuelans coming across to Colombia right now? What is the situation like for them?
It's absolutely horrific. And the tales they tell of the want and starvation and sickness that is happening. I've had people tell me that they're doing open heart surgery with no anesthesia inside Caracas, inside Venezuela. I've had people that have come out and have shown me pictures of things like that. And the colectivos along the border, the thugs along the border have been beefed up. There have been more and more added all the time because they're very afraid of a military intervention coming out of Colombia.
All right, Chuck, we really appreciate your... I actually have one more question for you. I think we have time. What kind of humanitarian aid is there in Colombia to help the Venezuelans who are streaming over the border?
A lot of organizations, including our own Operation Blessing, are doing a great job of helping those people that are coming across the border, and they're doing it in the right way. If we send aid into Venezuela right now, we will literally be propping up this corrupt government, because if you make it easier for people to live there, it's less likely they're going to just rise up and do what they have to do to kick out their leader. Yeah. Operation Blessing is feeding people, they're giving medical aid, and they're clean water and all sorts of help, and they're really doing a great job of leveraging people's donations, because what I saw when I was there 2 days ago is that Operation Blessing is taking the money. We're not just spending the money one for one. What we're doing is we're spending it in such a way that it's being amplified and magnified by encouraging other entities and organizations in that area to also contribute and help us. And so I would say that if somebody gives money to Operation Blessing, that money gets magnified many times over.
That's so good to hear, because they need our help and our prayers.